Hey mathematicians, this is not your homework. I'm going to explain an 8th grade concept that we kind of started talking about in some of my classes today that will serve as our challenge of the week. This will roll into next week because I'm recording it on a Thursday, but let's see how you can do some 8th grade math. So this only works with right triangles. So we've talked about it in some of our classes, how a right triangle, the longest side, which is the side opposite from that 90-degree angle, has a special name. It's called the hypotenuse. Okay, so with the hypotenuse, we can do some pretty cool math. So we're going to do something called the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem talks about the special relationship between the three sides of a right triangle. When we name these sides, we're going to call them A, B, and C. And it's really important that C is the longest side of the hypotenuse of this right triangle. So we can actually solve and find the missing long side length, which is really hard to count if it's on a grid because it kind of goes through different squares and it's like not a clear straight line. It's hard to measure and hard to figure out. So how we do it is we follow the rule a squared, or a to the power of 2, plus b to the power of 2 equals c to the power of 2. So power of 2 is when we have exponents. So if I'm looking at the drawing that I just did, a looks like it matches up with this side. That means 12 to the power of 2 plus b looks like it matches up with this side, 5 to the power of 2 equals our mystery number, which we can just call c, to the power of 2. Okay, 12 to the power of 2 means 12 times 12, which is 144. 5 to the power of 2 means 5 times 5, which is 25. And that's going to equal our c to the power of 2. So if we add these two together, we get 169, which equals c to the power of 2. Now, when you're in 8th grade, you will learn about the opposite of the power of 2, which is called the square root. We call 2 to the power of 2 squared sometimes, and root kind of looks like a division sign, but it's the opposite of it. So if we do the square root of c to the power of 2, we just end up with c. If we do the square root of 169, we'll end up with a number that equals c. Now, sometimes this number is a whole number, sometimes this number is a crazy long decimal, which is why the skill is often saved for 8th grade, because you get to use a calculator in 8th grade, and there's a button that is literally that symbol, and you can just solve it like that. I'm only giving you on this page ones that can be solved with whole numbers. So, without having a calculator, can you think of a number times itself that equals 169? We're only thinking through doubles facts. 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, things like that. I know that 12 times 12 is 144, and this number is bigger, so it's probably going to be something bigger than 12. Not that much bigger, though, because 169 and 14 aren't wild, and 144 aren't wildly different. They're pretty close if we're thinking about the grand scheme of all the number options. Actually, it's actually really close because 169 is the answer to 13 times 13. So we would say that our hypotenuse, our side length c, is 13 inches long. Using that knowledge, using this new skill set, I'm asking you as the challenge problem to solve number 2. Number 3. Ooh, number 3 is interesting because I'm actually telling you what the C side length is and what the A side length is, and you're looking for B. So that one might take some isolating of variables too. Same deal here. This is C, the hypotenuse. A and B are kind of interchangeable so long as they're sides. Maybe in 4 you're looking for A. In 5 you're looking for C, the hypotenuse. And that's all I'm asking for. 4 triangles. Solve those, and you'll get your homework pass.